Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And yes, you've been such a wonderful and kind audience since morning. I really appreciate your valuable time. And of course, yes, we are here for today's conclave. Panel number 4 is about the topic NBFC, Elevating Organizational IQ.
Okay, good afternoon. Let's start our second part of the program today. We have a big panel. I'm really happy to see so much power, so much intellectual horsepower on the dais today. And I think the topic is also deserving of the kind of strength that you bring, elevating not your IQ, my IQ, but organizational IQ. What I would request is maybe each of you can make some kind of opening remarks about the challenges of raising organizational IQ, about some magic solution you may have about raising organizational IQ, about, in your experience in kind of raising organizational IQ, what has been your experience. And if I may just clarify, organizational IQ is not just the human IQ collectively. I think it is the organization as a whole. Whether you look at the software it has, the analytics it has, the AI system that it is using, and as a whole, what is an organizational IQ? How much is carbon IQ? How much is silicon IQ? How much is some other kind of IQ? There are no bets, there are no closed. Anything is open. If generative AI or some other AI can do something to raise organizational IQ, why not? So all gates are open. Maybe you can start with a 1 or 2 minute introductory remarks, and then hopefully by then we will have Mr. Suresh come in and take over the proceedings. Who wants to be the opening batsman or woman?
So, myself Prashant here. I will try to give the little elaborative answer of what you are trying to ask. Yes, this topic is quite elaborative one itself, because as a human IQ versus as well as along with the company with organization IQ, where we are trying to put a organization effectiveness, operational efficiency or operation excellence through the digital transformations or adoptions with a newer technology and making yourself competitive enough to that you will sustain your business. Okay. Right. In whole life cycle, I will try to give a very good example, which apart from our NBFC or banking, we all are very good into cricket, okay? Why I'm giving this story or example intentionally, so we will try to connect easily. You can see that when the IPL started in 2007, how effectively BCCI has transformed the cricket as a game to the passion of the whole 100 crore Indian population. Okay, they adopted a new technology right from VR, DRS, health management, with the bowling, batting, all the scanning. Okay, they have integrated. They are the first in the world. Probably, even though ICC is one of the topper than them, but BCCI is able to integrated all the best-in-class technology. We are the first in IPL to adopt DRS. We are the first. We adopt the reviews with the multiple cameras. We are BCCI is who able to adopt a weather forecast integrated with the match timing. Okay.
Okay.
So why I'm trying to give this this example, because I want to correlate the same with now our NBFC, where we generally call as a customer life cycle value. Okay.
Right.
Lifetime value of customer. Okay. So the challenge is that our organization must able to develop align yourself in a such a way that we will able to give them a value in our customer transaction, so they will get the new age technology or new age benefit in today's world. Okay, means we started our journey like e-KYC, video KYC. Till today, we are operating in the era of the disbursement, which is online with 5-minute, 10-minute wala gimmick worlds. Okay, so this is my take with respect to the organization IQ. Thank you.
Okay, interesting. So to summarize, what you're saying is use lots of technologies and use a lot of technology at the front end so that the customer can feel the difference. So the technology impact should be visible rather than being something happening in the factory, in the back office. Okay? That's one aspect of raising. Yeah, I think as a individual customer, I can definitely feel the difference between a tech-savvy front end and a less or a low-tech front end. Sounds good. Yes, Mohammed.
Hi, Imran this side. I am from Sammaan Capital. Technology plays a major role, but you rightly said that it should be the wow factor to the customer experience, which is very important. But at the back end, if you see the entire life cycle where you have to bring the IQ of the organizations, you need lots of training and lots of educations into the organizations. To adopt the new technology, incentivize those people to make them mistakes and learn from there. Most of the times we see that everybody's KRA becomes like an digitalizations. Now an era of digitalizations comes. We come up with a digital home loan at 2015. Probably most concentration is going on the front-ending side of the customer experience. But if you see at the RBI side, when they come up with the CFS and all those things, early warning systems and all those, this is only because there is a back-end system which needs modernizations and which needs more middle tier and back office to be modernized in such a way that actual benefits of the more digitalizations can go to the customer, and that should be 24/7, his service should be available.
Great. So to summarize, what you're saying is satisfy the customer, but make sure the regulators and other stakeholders are part of that supply chain and don't be focused only on the customer. Sounds good. Jijy, would you like to give your perspective?
Yeah, I'll probably keep it very short. This decade is of, I would say, technology, innovations, intelligence, super intelligence. In the old regime, right, your organization's intelligence was the collective intelligence of human beings,
Yes.
the people in the organization. Of course, the relevance of people has not changed at all, and that's not going to change. But having said that, this intelligence is super amplified with the intelligence of the technology and data. And I think that's the theme of this panel, I believe. I think, this is probably the right time because we have all built data, so much data over a period of time. And then now the innovation is possible, right, with more intelligence coming on. In the loan life cycle itself, if you see, right, from the onboarding, underwriting, even sourcing, onboarding, underwriting, disbursal, collections, customer service, you can put so much, predictive, prescriptive, or multiple types of intelligence in the whole ecosystem to make it more efficient, for, the organization as well as for better experience of customers.
So if I may summarize, what you're saying is that this technological intelligence is kind of like going to a gym. So it strengthens you from within. So you can be more efficient in dealing with all kinds of options and customer services and other business requirements. Okay, so technology as a force multiplier sounds good to raise organizations. So it's an organizational six-pack. That one can say. Can I say that? Organizational intelligence is like a new six-pack. Subrata.
Thank you. I'm really glad to be here and be a part of the wonderful discussion. So I am a part of Ugro Capital. We are in the field of SME lending. We say our mission statement is solving the unsolved. Obviously, because there's a very large credit gap in India for small and medium enterprises, and we are trying to contribute significantly in that area. So massive advancements have taken place in this space in the last few years. So that for the first time, the whole industry is in such a juncture where we are dreaming to actually do that, and we are able to do that because of the advancements in data and technology. I think building org IQ or collectively increasing our strength towards this direction means that we are taking many initiatives which are very different from how we did things in the past. So there are many challenges here. For example, we take initiatives, but we do not see any returns in the short term. We build infrastructure systems, but we have to incubate. This means that a lot of human beings who are not necessarily tech persons or data-driven persons, but they are very strong business persons. They're adopting things which are new to them, and sometimes there are doubts. As human beings, our behavior is to look at any change with a certain amount of apprehension. I think the journey of building org IQ and getting to a stage where our decisions, especially in the space of SME lending, the decisions are made by frameworks, by logical frameworks and not by judgments, and they're made in a scalable way. This is the journey that we are in, and there are those challenges and those fears. So I think the journey of building IQ and building collective strength and wisdom is all about balancing these things.
Balancing these things. Okay, sounds good, sounds good.
My name is Gagan, I work with JM. So one different view I have is that I'll take an organizational IQ stand in-house, how to build a team. So one of the things I have seen that, first of all, I'm happy to see an IQ topic because I've done so much EQ in last 10 years. It's anti-IQ, it's almost anti-IQ.
Oh.
So all panel discussions are like EQ is more important than IQ, EQ is more important than IQ. So very, very rare to find an IQ. IQs are multiple types is one thing I have seen, right? You may have very high IQ people with technology. Some people are very intelligent, but they are not intelligent in short term. They take time. Some people are on the spot intelligent. So in the terms of when I evaluate a team, in terms of a team of 5-7 people, in terms of both EQ, IQs, if we talk about IQ today for a change, IQ is also a mix of many IQs. It's not only about intelligence. Intelligence quotient can be of multiple types. So one of the organizational IQ building is when you not only get the best IQ people, as we call it in the market of IITs or anything, but there are various kinds of IQ. So we have built teams where somebody is faster, somebody is slower, somebody solves complex problems, somebody solves simpler problems faster, and there are some people who do more innovative problems, some people do more, I'll say, intricate architecture, some people do faster. So there are so many things. So one thing I've seen that you need to look at IQs in multiple perspectives in organization, even though in theory there's one IQ quotient, but in real life it is different. The other thing that I can talk about organizational IQ is that while we all talk about customer, whenever there is a customer who is not happy with you, you have a very good customer experience team, kind of calms them down, solves their problem, and try to bring them happy. All of us want to have customer delight, but I don't know how many of us really take the customer input and change our product.
Okay.
So one of the things that we have imbibed in my company, in my group that I build is that a lot of my product pipeline in the app is built through customers' inputs only. Customers' inputs increases organizational IQ significantly. This is one thing that we miss. So all of us want to delight customers, but nobody wants to really, truly, nobody, I mean to say very few people, try to actually adopt that input of the customer because we have architects. We have very good product people. So we have so many people who are building your product and technology. You always want to keep the customer happy, but you don't necessarily want to take the input and actually do it. So we have done that in the last 6-8 months more. In the first year, we were also not good at that. I think that has helped in improving our product significantly. And a lot of my product pipeline for next 6 months is based on customers' input, which I think builds organizational IQ significantly by adding customer in a real collaboration and a real co-creation way. And it's very tough to do. It took me also years to kind of accept it that मुझे अपना product pipeline customer के input से बनाना है. It's not easy. It's very tough, but we have done it now.
It hurts your ego kind of.
Yeah, it almost hurts your ego, right? कि अरे हमें ऐसे नहीं आता, वो क्या बताएगा?
पढ़ लिख के आए हैं.
But eventually, yeah, it helps. Right? So these
But,
two things are very important, which I think are new, other than the technology advancement everybody knows.
I'm reminded of what, when you gave the first part of the answer, I remember of a school days that someone may be very intelligent in the classroom, but doesn't mean that that person scores in physics, chemistry, biology, maths, English, geography, civics, whatever the subjects.
And I have seen people who answer
different
the question.
people are good at different subjects.
Yeah.
And the holistic part
Correct.
of it is the challenge.
Correct.
So one can be very good at physics but do terribly, which for example me, biology I just couldn't handle.
And they're all science, but they're still so different.
Yes,
Different
they're
IQs
both
are there.
science as such, but totally different kinds of science.
Yeah, that's correct.
So when you say someone can solve problems faster, someone can takes time, someone integrates, someone differentiates, I think it's the word intelligence itself is very complicated. You cannot just there are very varieties of intelligence. So thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah, to just add to whatever others have already told. So to me, it's like how do you take the collective intelligence of everyone and put it into a way where it can be disseminated to everyone, to all stakeholders. Now, what you see in tech and in any scenario, even in business, if you ask someone, how did you arrive at this solution? Maybe they have certain style of working. Now, it's in their brain. The way you can build organizational IQ is how you can probably document or you can put it in bits. So that even if that person is not there with the organization, you have built a knowledge base which can be utilized every time. Now, one of the things that tech has been doing for years now is to have analytics system, data warehouse, and then you disseminate data across organization. What Gagan just now told, you take customer inputs. Now you take customer input and then you have to act on it. Now how do you act on it? It's something you can have a framework for it, but there has to be a way of working. You have to devise a way of working and then you have to find the solution for it. So it's adopting to what all you have learned and then disseminate it to everyone in the organization so that there is a top-down approach. There has to be top-down approach. You collect the information bottom-up, but top-down you tell that this is the way we have to work, and there has to be some framework around it.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So you remind me of Mumbai. Mumbai was actually 7 islands earlier. And if they had remained islands, they would not be what Mumbai is today. But because those islands got integrated, we now have Mumbai as a financial capital, as the country's, and a global city as such, So I think that's integration is, and sharing, spreading across is a wonderful idea. So thank you all for your respective insights about organizational intelligence. Now I would like to pass on the baton to Suresh. So I did the opening 6 balls, opening over. Now rest of the match is yours, Suresh.
Thanks. Apologies for the delay. My prediction of landing here is 12:30. That's what I have planned for too, but unfortunate getting from the airport to here, the intelligence worked beyond intelligence, so it took what our time. So luckily it was near airport, at least I could make it, otherwise I would have come after the time only. Apologies for that. And again, the topic, when we selected this, especially from the IQ, the given chance, what I have seen for more than 2 decades, rural India, especially when NBFC is trying to target, they are able to be flexible and they are able to go closer to the customers than the bankers and trying to attain and ensure that something called earn to pay model, which was very unique, which even banks struggle a lot today with all kind of enterprise and big systems they do have, but NBFCs can do easily. That's where we can see the differentiation. That's what we thought, we can pull out from your organizations to see how IQs can be made part of digital, where digital means getting those data, getting those brains, getting those your culture, flexibility in terms of even financing, which we have seen enormous potential from NBFC than the bankers. So We would want to emphasize here, slightly reduce it, that intelligence means smartness, beautiful, everything is fine, but we have to go by the schooling. It's like every nativity plays a major role. So if you're from a village and that school is for that area, then that maturity of education should also be suiting to those areas. So here, NBFC intelligence, we are trying to hear from you all to find how your organizations to taken it up and how you are able to make it success part of intelligence. So somebody said like it's getting into organization queue, then getting into intelligence. Now you can see a lot more into digital intelligence also. That's where you can see a lot more. Simplifying IT. That's what we are seeing, in other words, where banks still struggles a lot when they dip into rural India, where NBFCs are easing out and how they are able to achieve that intelligent smart part of it. So do you want to hear from your organization how similar things getting simplifying that IT?
So if you see on the IT side, I believe that you have to create a digital factory. That is very critical and important. And you have, when you say a digital factory, a roadmap, a framework, which is very important. And bring the collaboration, inter-functional collaborations to make it success. You take a baby steps, you take a small steps to make it successful. So you don't go for a very big projects, and then digital world is changing very, very fast. So you should be agile enough. Educate the peoples. You also have to have a training for the peoples to understand what is the digital impact of that. Otherwise, everybody fears in the industry. If you see anything go for digitalization, automation, those things, everybody fears of that. There is a bunch of people who said, what I will do there. So you have to educate. There are other things to do, and more customer experience and success you can bring if you adopt the digitality. So in our organizations, what we did, we created the factory, we created a roadmap. That's why we come up with a product like an e-home loan. We come up with a product like the Dhani, which is in a 3-minute loans, which is market disruption. You should be the first mover into the industry. And to move the first mover, you rightly say that it should be the top-down, bottom approach, because somewhere at the top down, they have to drive it, they have to make it happening, but you have to take collectively all the information from the down to bottom and intelligently develop it. Your project plan cannot be in a very, very large. It should be very agile. You should be ready for failure as well. That is very important. So I believe that failure will also comes. Every step you will not get success. Once you fail, you learn and you succeed from there. And you improvise from that. That's how we did it.
So great. You mentioned three, I think. One is like creating that product, especially from the E, where you can see in India, especially e-business is less to do with electronics, more to do with the emotions. So how you planned, or any specific product which has yielded you, or during COVID it has supported, which has given more in terms of that intelligence smartness?
So you know that a home loan, we do the mortgage loans. And mortgage loan is a loan which lifetime one time people do. Now the people go for second time, so mostly it's a one-time buyer, and it's probably 1% of the GDP which is contributing by the home loans. At that scale, people need personal touch. But in 2015-16, we come up with a product like a home loan, which is an e-home loan. And that's a fully digital till the disbursals. And we created the ecosystem in such a way you get the loan for 24/7 from your home, from anywhere, from the mobile. Now that's a 2015-16 initiative which has been very helpful at the time of COVID, when you are sitting at your home and you want something from there, and you can then the collections have to play major roles. And for that we have the scraping the data what you have. The data you have scrapped, and you make it a proactive initiatives to how to message them, how to interact with them, how to collect those money. If there is early warnings, then what to do and action them.
It's a great, again, speed and reach will change the mantra, which is that. But I will come back to you in the second round to find how the recovery happens. Because today, giving loan, everybody gives faster. Suppose somebody wants closure, then they say minimum 15 days, you have to go through my link only, all those things are there. I'll come back to you on that. So from your case, like how you've seen your industry, especially your organization has taken digital, especially as a unique mark. But the culture, again, internal, external, how people have taken the challenge in terms of getting adopted to the intelligence smartness, what we are trying to build.
From my experience with respect to the digital transformation as a journey, being me as a practitioner, I think, yes, we have to propel down your IT strategy or your business strategy and break into the number of pieces. Okay? By breaking the number of pieces, you are making it achievable. Okay? Along with that, you are ensuring your business is sustainable. It is competitive enough to stay ahead of with your competitor. Now, everybody is now trying to convert their business from tomorrow's angle in today's era in digital savvy way. Okay? Everybody is trying to adopt technology, but it is cloud, but it is the mobile friendly, mobile first, whether you name the AI, ML, you name the any data minings, everybody is utilizing it. But being you as a, because you are organizations carrying some 2-3 decades experience, that is what your asset. You know your product, you know your processes, you know your customer. So you know where you have to, you are lagging and where you have to improvise. So you have to align your programs and your strategy according to that, and you should be agile enough to change yourself. The way my colleague has explained, you must be able to accept the failures. Okay? So my take as a professional that pull your strategy, make your roadmaps, and try to adopt all best in technology available in the world by collaborating and partnering with the best-in-class breed COTS applications or the OEMs available in the world. So you cannot able to develop everything at your own. But you have your processes, your own strength is with you. So you have to put the cherry on the ice cream by pulling them, okay? Be it is whether you want to be a cloud, whether you want you to be customer journey to be enhanced by adopting chatbots, adopting the voice analytics, voice biometrics, or giving them a something unique experience by doing everything by them own throughout their life cycle. So that's my take on the digital IQ and digital transformation.
It's a great, like you slightly described to say it's more expertise in identifying the partner who knows about the thing. So any thumb rule or value to find out, no, these partners are not okay to us. So in our case, when we say rural India, we had 3 problems. One is what connectivity, another one is electricity, third one is resource availability in the last mile. Until these 3 things are not taken care by my partners, even though he's best in India, but we won't take it. He has to have his resource availability where my branch is there. And electricity, he should have that technology which supports both offline and online. And again, connectivity is a big challenge, so he should not come and tell me, put this tool, it will work. Okay, I'm doing a remote operation where the technology connectivity itself is not available. How it should work both online and offline. So in your case, any thumb rule which you want to share with the audience to say this is the best practice we do in selecting the partners? Intelligence, smartness behind that.
With my experience, selecting of a partners, we have a 2-3 different. One important is that how they are agile and ready to work the way we are, because some partners give you the out-of-box solution. No, we want somebody to work with us and give us a fine-tuned their solution as per our need. Because we have our in-house products, which is LMS and LOS. So we don't want somebody to just come and tell me, okay, you integrate the API and then start working. No, we want somebody to, means I, as a program management head, as a strategy guy, I see a partner who will stand with me and through the complete journey, hands on hand. Okay, that's my take.
Let him know your behaviors, let him know your belief, let him get accustomed to that so that the business can be get connected part of the best one. Correct.
Thank you.
Madam, we know we have seen so many things happening, part of your organization, it's coming out here. Again, we can simplify it. Intelligence, no need to compare with the topmost bank or something like that. But still, we have some unique values, part of our organization, which has even made banks to think like how come they are doing it, how they are able to do it. So from your case, like from organization to find which area or a technology which you felt, that has created a big transformation. Even though smartness is less, but the people getting adopted both internal, external.
Yeah, thank you for that question. I was definitely looking forward to this question. See, I mean, I represent a housing finance company. We are a leading housing finance company specialized in affordable housing in rural and semi-urban pockets, deeply penetrated. So, of course, see, every organization goes through a journey, right? And it's like a train, right? So, and train stops at different stations. So, if you look at an organization journey in the initial years, you are in the process of establishing yourself. Once you reach a level, a mid-sized level, then you're looking at a larger roadmap. So we did the same thing. In fact, about 2 years back, 2.5 years back, we stepped back and looked at where do we want to go in the next 10 years to 15 years tenure, and looked at every single piece of capability in the organization. Of course, today, tech is an important piece, and your processes also, right? Because tech can't be seen in isolation. It has to be looked at, together with the processes, right? So we did a tech roadmap planning, looking at a long-term journey, and we took certain hard calls. And you had asked this interesting question, right? That how do you look at evaluating tech partners, right? So when we looked at the roadmap, we had stacked up a bunch of initiatives that we were expected to do over the course of maybe 3 years. That was the roadmap, that tenure that we have kept for our major initiatives. And clearly we had prioritized the initiatives, what we want to do, because in the whole chain of processes, you have your the larger set of organizations, right? In a mortgage lending space, your underwriting is the biggest, most complex job, especially because the property is not prime and customers are also, middle and lower income group customers, largely SCNPs. So, and of course, then your disbursement and collections and life cycle journey, and of course, customer service. In that process, a lot of enablement had to be done for customers to avail your services without having to come to us every now and then. So, when we looked at a 360-degree approach, we had 5 or 6 big ticket items that we had to do, looking at the scalability factor of the organization, the robustness, because you are in a very, very tough regulatory regime, and especially when you are a growing organization, you can't definitely take any risk on the quality of processes, your controls, compliances and all. And then, of course, the third is your customer, right? And all are equally important. And the overarching rule is how do you make it more cost effective? Because if you work cost efficiently, you can offer better price to the customer. And of course, profitability is also very important. And the spread is getting shrinked, as the time progresses, right? So we have kind of taken a platform approach, because when we did evaluate different solutions, we felt that rather than going for bits and pieces, you have 2 or 3 big areas, right? Your larger people are involved in the underwriting journey, so they have to be really, really strongly stitched together with good analytical capabilities, backward integrations, and very robust workflow engine. And we looked at, of course, every change, cultural aspect is very important, adoption is very important, because you have a huge amount of people involved in that process. So the right user experience. So we have gone ahead with, I don't want to name the OEMs here, but we have taken a, path of picking up the platform. And similarly, the LMS we looked at primarily scalability and the compliance and robustness part. And there also we have gone by a platform. And then your entire GL accounting piece. So these 3 putting together become your application ecosystem, and of course supported by your field collection applications, your digital interfaces to enable self-service. And everything is then tied up together with the data and analytical engine, which is your core pillar, right? So we have taken a very careful approach, and one very important factor that we have considered is we have found very beautiful products, but then when we look at next to 10 to 15 years of journey, we could not afford to pick up the partners who don't have very long history. So we were forced to take certain calls there. So that's what I said, right? So if you are a young NBFC who wanted to, put the foot on the ground and start to grow, there probably you can take a very different approach because their agility is very important. But when you are already in certain phase of your journey, then, your risk management and your further scalability become very important aspect, right? So I think all of us in this room are of different phases of our journeys. We are kind of close to 18,000 crores of AUM in micro housing loan segment and growing pretty well. And hopefully the approaches that we have taken, the strategy that we have adopted, executions that we have done in the last 2 to 3 years will definitely yield result in our journey of next 10 to 15 years of time.
Great insights about how the ERP system, again, behind the screens, how it works. And I'll come back to you on how similar things works on the last mile, means whether all the processes and that next. And thus, innovation, everybody talks about innovation, but I have been in that post for some time and I have changed something called Chief Innovation Officer with future technologies. So we don't know exactly where to do innovation with existing, then everybody is holding it. A comfort zone people doesn't want to come out. And they started defining what is innovation. No, that ended up by saying do something else which is not part of the existing. That's where the innovation. So your take on how the innovation part works, part of it. And really it is companies' intent culture, or we have to get it from the mediators, that party of doing some hackathons or getting into colleges, trying to get those innovation part of it.
A great question, thank you. I think in our context, innovation means solving a problem which is largely unsolved until now. So in SME lending, how do you reduce the credit gap through scalable mechanisms? That's what we are working on. I think, and in our journey of innovation, we have had to do things very mindfully so that we build something which is scalable and sustainable for a long term in the future. So it involves setting up some infra and then giving it a kind of maturity and scale so that the growth journey that we are on, that is supported by that. I think from my perspective, I would share the broad building blocks of the journey of innovation, which is resulting in becoming stronger collectively. Number one is setting up the right infrastructure to collect knowledge and setting the right building blocks for innovation to prosper, which means collecting data and building the technology and the infrastructures. Data collection, of course, this is an often used word, but it is important to collect data which is machine readable, which results in learning in the future. So it is often seen that somebody is applying for a loan and we look at his credit bureau PDF file. If I just collect the PDF file and keep on storing those, then after 3 years, it will be very hard to analyze. So it has to be machine readable. So today all our data integrations are API driven. Second thing is, even if you have a large amount of data, it requires a dedicated effort and competency to assimilate that data and make it in a form that a lot of people in the organization can use it, and then ensure that it is transmitted to every part of the organization. I think, and this is also requiring dedicated effort, meaning investment in people, in the skill sets. Sometimes the dissemination and when it comes to giving this to everyone across the organization, the things that get maximum limelight are MLAI, credit scoring, fraud management. Those kind of things are often taken at the top. But even if you see an internal audit function getting data-driven triggers on what are the areas to scrutinize, or for that matter, an operations department getting critical inputs about where they need to make themselves efficient. This is very important, and it is not about the glamorous ends, but about everything. And the real objective is to make this second nature. I think everybody in the organization has to understand that using data in their day-to-day decision making is actually helping, so that they're just doing it by habit and not because it is a specific project or something has been rolled out. That's the second thing. And then the third point is some incubation is needed on some of these things. Every kind of project, and especially in our space, every kind of project has a certain period of iteration and learning. So if I take the example of credit scoring or evaluation of borrowers by their bureau data, banking data, etc., about 18 to 24 months time is needed to iterate and make a model better. If it comes to doing campaigns and sending customers, marketing-led business acquisition, as we call it, if I look at that, it takes about maybe 3 to 6 months to 9 months to do a few iterations and make it perfect. So I think it was important, and we have done it. We have been invested. We have governed the approach and governed how we are efficient, but we had given it the time for it to mature and give us the benefits. I think these three things are there, and last but not the least, I think everybody has to be bound together on this journey, and that is how we do it, and organizational maturity comes. So I think the benefit quantification of the initiatives, I think is very important. Because when I go to somebody and say, hey, this is the AI is saying this and do that, that's one conversation. But if I say that it reduces the cost, it increases the revenue, that's different. I think the latter is the approach. And I think these are the few things which have helped us to do what we are. Of course, we are in a much better state, and with this, we hope to be on that journey.
Great. The patterns you have said, 1, 2, 3, what it is, but that's simple question, like not to say innovation originates from internal or external.
No, it is definitely it is both. Innovation originates from necessity. Okay. So if the credit penetration to MSMEs is very little and you want to solve for it, so you have to see what has caused it to not become larger, and so accordingly you try to decide. Today innovation is coming in SME lending segment because of the technology and because of the alternate data. Okay. So today you have moved from income-based sourcing to cash flow-based sourcing, which is about to drive a revolution in the SME lending space. So that is innovation. I think we are trying to do a little bit and be in a state of readiness so that tomorrow something comes, we can capitalize on the opportunity.
So shall we take it this way to say it's a thin line between compliance and customer service? So wherever it's compliance internal, a lot more innovation comes part of it. If it's service, it comes more from the external in terms of customer data. Yeah?
No, definitely. Definitely, I think it is both. I think it is both, but both are equally important. And I think if you have the fundamentals right, then of course compliance is challenging, but we should be able to be on the right side of it.
So for you, since more of a digital business, so far corporate digital was more focusing towards the stakeholders internal. Now, after post-COVID, we can see a lot more has transformed from corporate digital to customer digital, where every individual is talking about a customer as a corporate for a long term. So how do you see the digital business now getting aligned as intelligence based on the cultures of your organization, JM Financials? How do you see that?
Yeah, so all the digital business that I have personally worked in has always been customer. Because the fintech space, it has always been customer. But I guess for an organization which has been for a very long time, building a fintech like digital business has a lot of internal stakeholder also management, right? I think the biggest value that I see now digital is bringing is that it's not becoming extremely profitable businesses. For a long time, tech and internet industries have not been that profitable. So that way is when you talk about the COVID era, I think the big change in COVID era was that customers themselves were at least in HNI business, customers themselves were not wanting to adopt digital. There was a time when even if the organization is 100% digital, the customer is like, chalo mil lete hain, right? And but after COVID era, I think the HNI customers themselves realized they were okay with doing online. And then there's one of the rare scenarios where organizations were more digital than customers. And but after that, when customers became okay, it became easier for organizations to actually push through digital to customers. So that's, I think, an important thing in the HNI segment. In the fintech space, I think it's always been a complete customer-oriented business, but more digital in the fintech space makes finance more commodity. So mostly you drive those kind of products only, which are more commoditized, right? And the more high-touch products mostly go to the slightly more premium segment, and there also more digital is coming. So I think that's the big differences that I am seeing. So one question I wanted to talk about, which we answered, is about the partners, right? Partner selection with the two things that I have seen, and very quickly I'll talk about. One is that never focus on working with those, when you're selecting a partner, whoever comes to meet you, stop meeting them and meet other people in their company. Because people who come to meet you initially, when you're selecting a partner, mostly sales and business development. So you have to focus on meeting in those people in the partners who are not meeting you at all. Because they will meet you after the business starts, right? So I've always forced my partners कि मुझे तुम्हें original team दिखाओ, तुम्हारे business के लोगों से मुझे नहीं मिलना है, right? And the second thing which most of you may not like, I generally don't believe in working with those partners who are market leaders. Because if somebody has been able to sell to 80% of the industry, I don't think that is necessarily the best partner to work with. So I have a very reverse approach to that, right? because that becomes commodity, that becomes standard. You're not able to, the innovation is never at 80%, right? The most innovative partner will never be the market leader, is my view, personal view. So there's two things that I do, which is different, I think, yeah. So I'll stop here because I want to be fast.
Since time up, so we will hear from you. So we'll take some 3 minutes only extra. Yeah, yours.
Yeah.
Since specific to your organization, what you feel like, especially similar things when you deploy, security plays a major role, especially NBFC, that's where we lag a lot in terms of introducing smartness, fine, we are able to do it, but within the security guidelines, within the regulated patterns framework, like, how do you still feel innovations which we try to take it? But again, that it's not just as a highlight of intelligence, more to do with our best practices.
Yeah, so I'll quickly touch upon 2-3 things. So see, one of the things that we wanted all of our employees to understand is how all of our policies and procedures have to work. Now, let's say in any NBFC, you'll have hundreds of policy documents. No one is really ready to read it. So what we did in last 6 months was, with all these Gen AI things coming, we used AWS Bedrock. We built a simple Gen AI chatbot. We just uploaded all the PDF documents onto a repository. You ask any question on those policy and procedure, you will get the answer. So that has really helped. And because the churn in NBFC is also huge. If someone new is coming and he just wants to know, okay, what's the eligibility criteria for loan against property in Mumbai for this particular product, he can just write one line on chatbot, even on mobile. He'll get the answer, and he'll also get the policy document, the excerpt from the policy document. So that's one, and that is building our organizational IQ when you talk about that. Similarly, democratization of the data. So we use Power BI as our visualization tool. We had launched it much earlier, but then what we see is some guys will be really good at it. They'll see it every day, and then there would be guys who would be given access to it, but rarely they'll go to it. So we started publishing an MIS on how much usage of this MIS is for all the users. Now, if some user is not using it for 15 days, an escalation mail will go to his manager that this guy is not using the dashboard. So, and there would be a training for those guys. So, what we wanted to do was, if we are giving out something, either you say that you don't need it, or if that department is saying that I want it, you have to use it. So, so that's something that we did, and I think that is helping us.
So your Power BI is empowered with HI, human intelligence, or DI, digital intelligence, or OI, organization intelligence?
So it's all three, because when we develop any
intelligence, all three can't go hand in hand. So you have to be very precise in one, selecting one.
It has to be all three, because see, if it's only data intelligence, it won't really work. You have to take the inputs from business, ask what you exactly want. Once they say that they want it, you have to use the data to publish that. And then, of course, the data, digital, everything has to be there. It has to be there when they want it, how they want it, and then there has to be certain kind of nudges. So once you show the dashboard, see, every NBFC has this problem that your loans are disbursed on last day, on last 2 days. Now, everyone wants it ki, you have some uniformity across the month. There is a strategy, and every management meeting this will be discussed. Now, unless you nudge everyone to do that, it won't work. Now, we are trying to do it, but I'm not saying that we are successful, because the industry works like that. But we want to achieve that.
So no, at the end, at least we'll get disbursement during the month, or we'll still wait for month end only?
No, so still 80% is end of the month.
End of the month.
Yeah.
So still we are used to the culture of monthly, one EMI, monthly that interest is calculated based on that. Yeah. Why I asked that question of intelligence? When we did a small drill on the intelligence, they said human intelligence is must, especially India localization when you try to operate more in rural India. But you should have advanced digital intelligence, which should capture exactly rather than transforming, capturing properly and deploying. And organization intelligence should ensure it that in implementation goes fine. So all the three, but in the different phase, every intelligence has a work to add on to that. Yeah, thanks for your inputs on that. And again, thanks for your time. And it's a pleasure to be with you all today. And Intelligence, it's an ongoing process. Nowhere it's a start and end. So we can see things keep going and things keep getting empowering on that. And NBFCs, we can see a lot more when it comes to rural India. And again, the expectation set part of intelligence is customers, they do a lot, they do more on that. And the tag was more into earn to pay model. Make the customers to earn so that they can pay back to us. That's the trend, keep going on that. Yeah, thanks for all valuable time.